2010, where debate rages around the privacy implications of Google Street View, the online tool that lets you search suburban streets looking at houses. The German government gives Google the okay on the proviso that people's faces and car licence plates caught by its cameras will be blurred, and that anyone wishing to opt out of Street View will be able to have their house blurred too. 244,000 Germans opt out and choose pixelation. But for some people, that's not enough. In the northern city of Oldenburg, privacy activists sabotage a Google camera car, letting down the tyres and slashing the camera cables. In retaliation in Essen, anti-privacy activists vandalise the homes of people who have their houses blurred, pelting them with eggs and posting signs on their doors reading "Google is cool." So why is this happening? We've all heard the arguments about why privacy is a good thing, but what about the people who think we don't need it anymore? Who are the growing band of people who are in favour of public becoming the new private? Some of them are familiar faces. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg berates anyone seeking anonymity online and once said,
"Privacy as a social norm is no longer relevant."
Google CEO Eric Schmidt is another who believes privacy is a relic of the pre-digital era.
If you have something that you don't want anyone to know, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Of course, both those men would say that. Facebook and Google are in the business of data harvesting, so the more of yourself you share online, the more accurately they can track you and so target you with advertising. But they're not alone in wanting public to replace private. In fact, it's easiest if you think of the forces at work here as a triangle. In one corner, you have big business. And in another, you have government, which has more access to more information about us than ever before. Domestic security and surveillance have increased across the Western world since 9/11. Late last year, our own Attorney General proposed a mandatory data retention scheme, which would force ISPs to keep records of all our online communications, just in case it should ever be needed by law enforcement. Like it just was in America, where a magistrate has ruled that Twitter has to give up its users' data as part of the government's probe into WikiLeaks. So governments also want public rather than private because they want to know all of our secrets, even if they're not too keen on having their own spilled. Particularly not by WikiLeaks, whose founder Julian Assange believes in radical transparency, a view that a world without corporate, military or government secrets would be a better place for all of us by leading to a more accountable kind of democracy. The last point in the new privacy triangle is you, me, us, the regular everyday users of social media who willingly exchange chunks of our privacy in return for these free services. Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, to name just a few. Every week, 23 exabytes of information are added to the web. The majority of that content comes from ordinary people living their lives online. On Twitter, more than 50 million tweets are written every day. On YouTube, 24 hours of video is uploaded every minute. On Facebook, more than 200 million photos are added each day, along with 114 million posts and 720 million comments.
This publicness that we start to live will make us a more tolerant society.
Increasingly, digital commentators like Jeff Jarvis argue that the desire for privacy retards our social and economic growth. Apparently, we're not just wading through a narcissism epidemic, but a more profound transition is underway.
And the internet is an incredible machine to connect people with each other and with information and action. And if you cut yourself off and put yourself in a wall and pixelate your life, you're not going to connect with other people, and that's a loss.
One thing is certain, the more privacy we concede, the more we will be asked to concede. In the US, right now, employers are demanding Facebook logins and password details from prospective employees. And as Google's Eric Schmidt said last year, changing your name to escape your wild online youth could become a standard rite of passage into adulthood. A brand spanking new identity may well become this century's 21st birthday present. And if you're worried about how you might fund that gift, well, the future could lie in monetising your privacy, in taking your data back from the companies which hold it and then selling it straight on to advertisers. Already there's a bunch of hopeful startups who will broker a deal on your browser history for you. After all, if this public is the new private trend continues, you're likely to give it all up anyway. So why not get paid for it?